Hi and welcome to episode 47 of the Talk is Cheap show. It's great to have you guys along. We've got another great show in store for you today, well, at least I hope anyway. But before I go any further, it is my dutiful privilege and pleasure to introduce my co-host, analyst, resident expert, big-time superstar footballer, Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in the house. What are you saying, bro?
1-0. We only lost 1-0. We only lost.
Oh, man.
I won't say too much about that.
Yeah, you have to keep your powder dry on that one, man. But I think that little summarization there by Curtis kind of will give you an indication of our thoughts of today's show. But listen, man, tell the people what you've been up to. I mean, I know you starred in our AFTV FC 4-1 win at the weekend. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, man, it was a great win. Obviously, we're in this new league, the Replay Me League. Played against this team, Prospects, who obviously they battered Rance's team the week before. So it was a good win for us, man. I think them man turned up thinking they were going to beat us. So it was a good win. Obviously, since you've come in as, director of football, sorted things out for us, things are looking rosy. So it was a good start to the league, man.
No, you know what? It was a really good day out, man. And after the events of the weekend, to get that game in on Sunday, to win that, and then I went home and saw what unfolded in the Tottenham West Ham game. It kind of rounded off the weekend well after what had initially proved a very, shall we say, sobering weekend. So yeah, man. But yeah, folks, look out for that. Yeah. We're in the Replay Me League. We got off to a great start. Our first league game. We beat a team called Prospects, who initially were considered one of the favourites. Probably still are. They are a good team, but we did very well. We beat them 4-1, despite having a man sent off. Our goalie was sent off early in the second half, and we saw it out, 1-4-1, so that's great. Okay, also I want to send a quick shout out to our colleague and good friend, Graham Brooks, who's often appeared on the channel. He lost his mum last week, and so our thoughts and condolences go with him. So, yeah, big up to Graham, man. Hope he's well.
Yeah.
Right, news and notes then, our second part of the show. Not that much to bring you this week, although there was the news surrounding the announcement of the squads. We had the Europa League squad announced, and we're pretty much any time now there's going to be an announcement on the Premier League squad for Arsenal, and we're expecting a couple of big omissions. None other than our friend Mr. Ozil. It looks like he's going to be cut from the roster. Curtis, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, I think it's a very political decision because I see that Arteta played him 10 games in a row before the pandemic. So I think, with refusing the pay cut, the people upstairs kind of said, you know what, this guy's not on board, man. He's got to go. So I think they've mismanaged the situation. I don't think it puts Arsenal into a great light, to be honest, to have a player on that much money not playing and still picking up his wages. That really they should have moved him on in the summer or paid him off. If you were going to keep him at the club, I think they should have involved him in some capacity. So I think they've got caught between a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah. Listen, it sounds to all intents and purposes that decision to cut him has probably come from above the manager's pay grade, let's put it like that. So yeah, I was chatting to Robbie earlier, and he uttered a sentiment that I agree with. He said it's kind of sad the way it's turned out, because if you cast your mind back a couple of years to when Ozil came to the club, bit similar to Partey, didn't he? He came in this fanfare, everyone was getting excited. And to see how it's transpired after a couple of years is a bit sad, really.
Yeah, very much.
Listen, I'm not going to feel sorry for somebody who's on 350 grand a week, especially the times we're currently living in. But at the same time, it is kind of sad to see how things have unfolded. It's a bit of a shame, but there you go, man.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the other player that looks like they're being cut, and I know you're going to feel very sad about this, is our defender, Socrates. I don't know quite what's happened there, but it looks like he's out as well. So what's your thought on him?
I mean, I'm not too sad about that one, to be honest. Again, though, why did they not move him on in the summer? Loan him out, sell him, pay him off? What's the point keeping him at the club? Like, it seems like we had a very difficult summer in terms of moving players on. It seems we're stuck with a lot of players that really shouldn't be at the club anymore. So
yeah,
he's not.
It looked like, at one stage it did look like he was going to go, didn't it?
Yeah, he was being linked with a move to Italy, I think, and then it just seemed to collapse, and then nothing else happened. So it's interesting. But apparently Socrates was one of the other players who refused a wage cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So it seems like if you refuse a pay cut,
you're getting binned, yeah.
Or could it just be pure coincidence? Anyway, okay, so that's our news and notes section for this week. So moving swiftly on then. Let's get cooking, man. Let's get started. This next section of the show segues with our main topic as we're reviewing the game at the weekend. Big game against Man City. We talked about it last week. We was all excited. Everyone was hyped up. You know what I mean? People were talking about City there for the taking. You know what I mean? They were missing Kevin De Bruyne, Gabriel Jesus. They hadn't won in a couple of games. People were talking about, you know, this Pep's last stand. So we rock up. We've just signed Partey. The vibes are positive. Everyone say, yeah, man, this is as good a time as any to take City on and get a result. I mean, we hadn't won an away game against the top 6 sides for, I think it was 28 games. So everyone was saying things are about to change. But lo and behold, I'm afraid to say that it didn't quite work out that way. We lost the game. And I think, if I could just say that, having attended the live stream and watched the game with the guys, I think there was a universal feeling of disappointment that was sort of ringing around the room after. Certainly talking to some of the guys, they felt like I did, is that we'd missed an opportunity here. And they felt like I did that we were far too passive. And you could even say that we've taken the path of least resistance in that defeat. So that's my thoughts on it. But Curtis, you're the resident expert. Tell us what you think. That City 1-0 defeat at the weekend.
Do you know what? I felt really disappointed after the game. I sung that song at the beginning because a lot of people were almost celebrating the fact that, you know, we lost 3-0 to them after lockdown, and then we lost 1-0 as if this is some sort of progress. You know, we're moving forward. We only lost 1-0. Listen, if West Brom, Fulham, someone like that, newly promoted, went to Man City and lost 1-0, I would say that's not a bad result because they cannot compete with a team of that quality, financially or quality-wise. But the way we played in that game was timid. It lacked belief. I got to be honest, it was a boring game. I was excited in the build-up to that game, but I don't think an Arsenal fan could really watch that game and enjoy it. I think Man City barely got out of second gear, if I'm honest. I think they strolled through that game. You look at the fact Aguero's been injured for 4 months. Sterling's just come back from a hamstring injury. De Bruyne was missing their best player. They've had defensive problems. And yet we turned up there, and if Willian has ever played as a striker in his life, then I need someone to tell me, because where that idea came from, I will never know. And I'll be honest, if I'm Lacazette and if I'm Aubameyang, I'm knocking on Arteta's door the day after and I'm saying, bro, what is going on here? Like, you got
stronger terms than that.
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. So let's take it from the top then. So, like you're looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
Before the game, the team sheet comes out. Tell me what your thoughts are. I mean, I know you've alluded to the Willian thing, but what was your thoughts on Partey not starting? I know I was majorly disappointed by that. I mean people are going to make the argument that, you know, it was his first game and it's the Premier League and, you know, the intensity and all the rest of it. And it's a massive game against City. Maybe didn't want to risk him so early. But you know what? I would beg to differ on that for those people who think that, for this reason. Listen, Partey, with the one thing that universally has been mentioned about Partey is this guy's physical attributes.
Yeah.
His strength, his speed, his power. I heard, what's the guy's name? Ex-Tottenham guy, the defender who played him at Atletico Madrid. Kieran Trippier, that's it.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely waxing lyrical about Partey, saying that, you know what, physically, I've never seen a guy like this. He goes, the only person I can compare him to is Moussa Dembele when I played Tottenham earlier in my career. So, and, you know, we know that Partey had been playing. He'd been playing from Atletico. He'd be playing for Ghana up until recent. I do not see why he was left on the bench. And then, of course, like you said, the Willian thing was baffling.
Yeah.
Listen, you can.
You're still baffled now, isn't it? Listen, for me, I'll try and add a little bit of balance to it because I don't want to look like I'm just hammering the manager. He's obviously tried to outsmart Pep, which every manager probably tries to do. So they know each other so well. He's probably thought, let me do something he's not going to expect. I'll play Willian through the middle. Again,
Willian didn't expect it either, it seems.
Yeah, I know. He spent the whole game trying to figure out what to do. But listen, what my problem was, you've tried something, it hasn't worked. Half time, get them in and change it now. When I saw the starting lineup, I was actually excited because I looked at it and I thought, Aubameyang, Willian, Pepe. Aubameyang's playing through the middle. Willian's on the left, Pepe's on the right, Aubameyang's through the middle. And I thought, that's going to cause problems because they don't like pace. You saw what Vardy did to Man City a few weeks ago. So then you watch the game start and you're like, hang on a minute. I don't know what's going on here, but Willian's through the middle. What I will say, Pep changed his system for this game. Usually they play 4 at the back. They played 4 in the FA Cup semi-final. Kyle Walker kept bombing on. We got in behind in his space, and that's where Aubameyang scored the second goal from. Pep played 3 at the back, put Kyle Walker right centre-back with Cancelo right wing-back, and they completely shut Aubameyang off on that side. You know, Aubameyang didn't get into any real good positions on that left-hand side. But we didn't even exploit them on the other side. But I just think for me, the Thomas Partey situation, I agree with you. I would have started him. I know people will say, oh, he's only trained a couple of days and this, that, the other, but he's match fit. As you say, he's physically ready. Torreira started for Atletico Madrid at the weekend. He signed on the same day as Thomas Partey. So it wasn't a big problem for Simeone, but for us, you've got to be at the club for weeks before you can start a game. So not only the fact he didn't start him, but then you make it even worse. You bring him on for, 8 minutes, 7 minutes? And I'm going, what is this guy doing? Like, you know, I feel like Arsene Wenger again, where you're like, come on, just make a change. So I just don't think Arteta did himself any favours. And, you know,
Can I just pick your brain? Like, with Lacazette, what is the thinking of him not playing? I mean, the guy's got 3 goals in 3 starts. Last season, he was being hammered for not getting enough goals. He appears to have addressed that this season, surely. He's got the 3 goals in 3 games, and he just can't get a starting berth. Either that or he gets taken off continually after 65, 70 minutes a game. You've got to be asking, like, what's he done to deserve this, haven't you, really?
Do you know what? I always think with football managers, right, they can say all they like in interviews about how much they like you and this, that, the other, but you got to go off the actions. And to me, I'm just not sure Arteta rates Lacazette that highly, to be honest. You know, 3-3. If you remember, Sheffield United at home before the international break, Lacazette was on the bench for the whole game. He didn't even come on. We started Eddie and Nketiah, and then, you know, we go to this.
We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago.
Crazy decision. And then he brings him on for 20 minutes against Man City. And if I'm Lacazette, I'm thinking, what is this guy doing? As you said, he scored 3-3. He looks like he's going to score goals this year. And then you kind of hurt his confidence by not.
I should just add that this has come at a time when Aubameyang's probably going through his worst run as a striker.
Exactly.
I mean, no goals in 4. I mean, you know, he scored in that first game, Worthy against Fulham. Hasn't scored since. And as you alluded to earlier, it's not just the fact that he's not scoring; he's not really contributing that much. And listen, I'm not. I'm a fully paid up member of the Aubameyang fan club, by the way. I'm not going to start dissing it because the stats don't lie in terms of his goal scoring and what he's done for the club previously. But this is a problem now that needs addressing, isn't it? Surely.
100%, Laurie.
Yeah, down the wing and sacrificing him for the rest of the team is clearly working at the moment. It looks like you said earlier, teams are starting to work that out now and starting to deploy plans to shut him out of the game, and it's working. So the goals have got to come from somewhere. And if you've got a guy that's scoring I mean, we're always saying that the goal should be shared around the team. Lacazette's scoring, he's still not getting any games.
I mean, you know what? You look at our front three, right? It's I think it's the most expensive in the Premier League. If you're talking about Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe, I look at all three of those players at the moment, and I'm looking at them thinking, how is Arteta managing those three guys? I mean, Pepe is up and down every week. One week he plays well, the next week he doesn't. He plays one week, the next week he doesn't. You got Lacazette, starts the season well, now he's on the bench. You've got Aubameyang, for me, the best striker at the club, playing on the left. It's as if Arteta does not believe he can play through the middle. This is a guy who scored 39 goals in his last full season at Borussia Dortmund, playing through the middle. So this whole thing of Aubameyang, he can't play through the middle, he's not good enough as a back to goal, he's a myth. The guy can play through the middle. I've said time and time again, he is going to be burnt out if he plays on that left-hand side for a long period of time. Yeah. He hasn't got that kind of work rate to keep doing that. You need to preserve him when he gets into his 30s and look after him. I don't understand. I think that Manchester City game was a huge opportunity missed. How can Leeds United have such a go at them, get a draw, nearly beat them? How can Leicester go there and hammer them 5-2? Manchester City lost 9 games last season in the Premier League. They are not a great team defensively. We all know that. You know, we've gone there and we look timid. And if I was watching that game and I didn't know who those two teams were, I'd say that's got to be a lower half of the table team that's just trying not to get hammered. I never felt like, even last 20, 30 minutes, it didn't feel like he said, right, we've held back now we're going to go for them. Yeah. City weren't hanging on and Edison weren't tipping them over a left, right and centre.
I know there's a school of thought that's saying that statistically, in terms of shots on goal and shots on target, we were quite close to them. But it certainly didn't feel that way watching it. I mean, listen, I watched the game on the live stream. Shout out to all the guys involved in the live stream, by the way. You watched it, you did your own stream. And when I spoke to you after the game, you felt the same as me. It was, like you said, it was timid, it was passive. We didn't really go after them. We had a decent spell for about 10, 15 minutes maybe, max. In the first half, right at the end of the first half. Yeah. But even then, we come out in the second half when we were listless, you know what I mean? And to me, I think that it's either one of these things. City didn't up their game because they felt comfortable, or even more damning perhaps, maybe they're just not that good at the moment and they couldn't up their game, so they couldn't kill us off. Yeah. But either way you look at it, I just don't think we did ourselves justice. And I've got to say, listen, man, I've been the first one to give Mikel Arteta credit when he won the trophies and for the work done in turning around the team, the fortunes of the team and the mentality and sorting out some of the player issues. But I'm starting to look at it now and I'm thinking, listen, man, you know what I mean? There is a lot more work that needs to be done. Our mentality, especially against the big clubs, is still not quite there yet. Not in the league anyway. I mean, listen, I gave them a lot of credit when we beat them in the cup.
Great performance that was.
We beat Chelsea, we beat Man City, we beat Liverpool. We won those 2 cups in 29 days. But your bread and butter is the league. And I expect that when we go to places like City and Liverpool and teams like that, that we got to go there and stick your chest out a minute, man. Say it with your chest, you know. Make a statement of intent. Say we're here to win. We're not going to roll over. And if we're going to concede a couple of goals and then try and come back and win or get a draw, then so be it. But I just felt that we played within ourselves far too much, showed far too much respect. Yeah. I'm not saying we caved in because it wasn't like that. No. It's that I'm saying that I was disappointed by the lack of adventure shown by the manager, and I just thought it was reflected in the players' performance.
Yeah, and the thing, what kind of, I mean, look, losing 1-0 to Man City is not the end of the world. They're a great team, and let's be honest, they are a better team than we are. But when you think the players that weren't playing, the fact they finished the game with no striker, Foden was playing up front for the last 30 minutes when Aguero came off. I just felt like we didn't.
Well, Aguero started, but he clearly wasn't fit.
He wasn't fit, but he still had it.
The contribution he made throughout the whole game was trying to grab Sean Mass's neck.
Oh man!
What do you think about that, by the way?
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
That was a straight red, by the way. A lot of people are saying that should have been a straight red.
I mean, by the letter of the law, I suppose it is. I mean, what I will say, it is something I've seen happen on the pitch before, but it doesn't make it right. It's for it's for her to inform the referee. You know, if she informs the ref, then he's got a decision to make. But if he doesn't see it and the lineswoman doesn't inform him, then I suppose there's no decision to make. But yeah, but overall, looking at the game, I mean,
he clearly wasn't fit. You could see it.
He wasn't fit. He wasn't.
Kind of weird, really, because he gets a start in berth after being out for a couple
months. And Partey, that plane journey of 4 hours.
Partey up at the club. You know, his physical attributes legendary. Everyone says he's rearing to go. The mood around the place is absolutely buzzing, and it gets deflated straight away because he doesn't start. And then, like you said earlier, he comes on with I think it was 8 minutes. I mean, come on, 8 minutes to go.
I wonder what Arteta said to him. Like, come on, Tom, you big 8 minutes here for me, lad. Come on, man.
Yeah, we paid 300 million for you, so you know what I mean. You've got 8 minutes to show us what you can do. I mean, that's borderline disrespectful to it.
It is, man. He treated him like a young player. Just started.
To me, that for a player of Partey's reputation, that was like borderline disrespectful, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't see the rationale in that at all. It would have been better if we didn't play him at all.
Yeah, you might as well just leave him at home and say, wait for Leicester. But
yeah, you know what I mean? Not that that's an easier game, but hey.
But yeah, Arteta, he's got to learn fast, because I feel like he's made this mistake a few times now, going away, being too cautious in the big games. And if we're going to get rid of this, 29 game record of not beating the top six, you got to throw caution to the wind a little bit, especially towards the end of the game. So,
and listen, I know that there's going to be people watching this show, and they're gonna come at us. You know what I mean?
Of course, I can already imagine.
We pride ourselves on this show as speaking our minds, and I listen. I'm not gonna fall into that, bracket of whereby you just go with everything just to be that so-called fan. You know what I mean? As the Americans say, don't piss on my head and tell me that it's raining. You know what I mean? I saw what I saw. You know what I mean? I believe the evidence of my own eyes, and I just wasn't impressed by that. And I have to say that I've got to call the manager to account, because, like I said, I think if your team selection is wrong and you set the team out wrong, then asking the players to deliver on top of that is a very difficult task indeed. So, yeah, I think Mr. Arteta's got to take his fair share of the blame for that, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, okay, we didn't cave in. People have said to me, even today I spoke to Robbie and I had a little argument with him, because he's saying, look, come on, man, it's not like we got thrashed and it was only 1-0 and we've gone there previously, been soundly beaten. Yeah, but it's a different set of circumstances this time.
And the thing is, Laurie, I think as a football club, we pride ourselves as fans as how big Arsenal are as a club, and, we're trying to claw our way back into that top four. You can't go to Man City, lose 1-0 and have any kind of celebration or happiness or, we improved, because we lost the game. It was a timid performance. I'm not going to cling on to the fact we lost 3-0 now, it's 1-0. We're not a bottom of the league team. We should be able to go to these places and compete. Everything to me while watching that game was saying to myself, we can get a draw out of this at least. We haven't played great, but let's nick a goal, get a 1-1, and that's something to build on. Then I would have been happy today. But 1-0 defeat, mate, I've got a lot more ambition than that. And I think as a fan base, we have to demand more than that from the club.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, 100%. I mean, listen, like I said, we was there for the live stream. We all watched it. And I can honestly say that the mood amongst the people present was one of disappointment. Not so much at the fact that we lost, because we've got to respect City as a very good team, champions and all the rest of it. It's not like we'd gone to Burnley and lost 1-0.
Yeah,
I'm sure the reaction would have been a lot more stringent. However, there was one of disappointment, maybe because we were so hyped up.
Yeah,
Partey coming to the club, his first game potentially. Like I said, no De Bruyne. Aguero only half fit, no Gabriel Jesus. And the fact that, and this is big facts, City had not been playing that well. I was even hearing rumours that, Pep was getting pissed off and this might be his last season and stuff like that. There was no better time to go there and make a statement. And the fact we didn't do that, I just felt we played within ourselves. It was almost like we were trying to nick a draw or avoid getting beaten rather than actually going there and getting the win. And when you contrast that as well with some of the other results that we're seeing in the league, the way Villa has started, for example, Everton, you know what I mean? You got to say to yourself, man, this was an opportunity lost. I mean, there's no fans at these games, and the results are, you know what I mean, up and down.
Yeah, up and down, yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? So why not go there and be positive and see what happens? But we didn't. So So that's what I felt. I thought we took the path of least resistance. Curtis, it seems that you agree with me. I'd like to throw that open to the people watching out there. What do you think? Do you agree with me and Curtis? Or do you think we're being too harsh? But listen, man, we're just calling it as we see it. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes for us. We pride ourselves on this show as speaking our mind on what we see. We're not just trying to fall into line to please people. You know what I mean? That's what we felt we saw, and that's how we talk it. But the one good thing I always say about football is that you quickly get a chance to redeem yourself. And this week, Arsenal have, 2 games in the space of 4 days? Yeah. We've got the glamorous Europa League fixture to look forward to. The Rapid Vienna. I did a little cursory check on Rapid Vienna. I think they've had 4 league games this season. They've won 3 and drawn 1, so they're unbeaten. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I must admit, I'm going to put my cards on the table. I don't know too much about them. I know that they're synonymous with Austrian football, but I don't know too much about them as a club. But I did do those facts there. So what type of team do you think he'll play?
Yeah, he's going to mix it. I think you'll see the likes of Nelson, maybe Smith Rowe. It'll be interesting whether he plays maybe Eddie and Nketiah or even Lacazette.
You know what? There's a case that he might play Aubameyang because, he
needs a goal.
And he hasn't scored now for a while. 4 games, as we said earlier. So,
me personally, I'd probably leave him out. I'd probably give him a rest for Leicester. But, there is a case to take him there and try and get him a goal for his confidence. You'll probably see.
Aubameyang's a naturally confident guy, and I swear that on Saturday, man, he looked a little bit out of sorts in terms of. I mean, he did have a couple of chances, but he didn't look that sharp to me.
No, that's one of the first games where I really looked at and thought his work rate was a little bit off in that game. I didn't think he worked as hard as usual in that game, but I think he was frustrated with the whole situation.
I have to say, well, I thought Kyle Walker had a very good game against him.
He pocketed him.
They deployed of putting him on a bang and basically snuffing him out. It did work.
It did work.
Kyle Walker, as we all know, he's very quick. He's also very strong. Yeah, he's got a mistake in him, but on Saturday I thought he was outstanding. Really did a job on Aubameyang. So you don't think he'll get a game? What about Partey then? Do you think he might start?
I mean, this is interesting, isn't it? Because you want to see him play against Leicester, but then does Arteta think he needs minutes first? So maybe he will integrate him, give him 60 minutes or something, just to ease him into the glamour of Europa League.
Maybe that was part of the master plan to.
We'll leave them. Maybe he wants to win the Europa League. Maybe he thinks, you know what, I don't want top 4. I want the trophy instead. So
he's prioritizing the Europa League. So he's using the City game as a warm up for the Europa
League. Maybe we've got it all wrong.
But,
hopefully we win that game anyway, man. We need to get off to a good start in that. I think we've got to try and win this competition this year. We've been in it for a few years.
Oh, hell yeah.
I want to see, a European trophy would mean a lot to Arsenal.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've got to try and win that, man. And not just because it's a gateway to the Champions League, but, it's a long, long time since we won a European trophy. Exactly. It's a major trophy. A couple of years ago, we got to the final, and it ended ignominiously for us. Chelsea. So I'm sure Arteta would like to right that wrong. So you don't see any other changes then? Or
I mean, I think he'll change a few. I think you'll see Willock, maybe Cedric Suarez. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of changes. Probably,
we'll see Runnison in goal.
maybe. I mean, this is interesting because he's been signed from a level where you're kind of thinking, how good is he? Can you actually trust him in the Europa League? Because when we get to the latter stages, if we're playing against some of the bigger teams, is he good enough? So I think you're probably going to have to play him. We need to really see how good he is. So, yeah, maybe he'll play. But hopefully we get a win. We need to start.
Yeah, I'll be watching the game of interest. We need a win. We need to get some confidence back. We need to get the vibes flowing again. Because we got that game on a Thursday, and then at the weekend we got another big game, in my view. Leicester at home. Leicester always give us a good test. It's interesting because looking at Leicester, their Premier League record is very similar to ours. So, for example, 5 games. Out of those 5 games, we've had 3 wins and 2 losses. Leicester are the same. Although, of course, they did beat City, didn't they? So
it's strange, actually, because they went to Man City and hammered them. They then lost at home to West Ham and got battered, and then lost to Aston Villa. So their performances are very up and down. But
although Aston Villa are the form team at the moment, aren't
they are the form team. But I just want to see Arteta be a little bit more, adventurous. We're at home this weekend. I don't think he needs to keep playing this 3 at the back. It is a counter-attacking formation. I think we need to play 3 in midfield and have more control of the ball because I think we're chasing the ball too much.
Actually, I was going to ask you about the midfield because as we know now, or it's not been officially announced, but to all intents and purposes, it's going to happen. So Ozil's been cut from the roster. And one of the stats that I've come across in the last couple of weeks is that we are actually in the bottom half of the Premier League table in terms of creating chances from midfield. I think it's a paltry figure. We're right down in fact, not just the bottom half, I think we're right down there. You know what I mean? So we clearly got a problem in that area. We've had a problem in that area for a long time in terms of midfielders scoring goals. So I just wanted to know, what would you do to address that, Curtis?
I mean, everyone keeps talking about creativity. We've been saying this for about a year now. We've got a creativity problem. I don't just think it's a case of, like, say, if Ozil was playing or someone like that. I think it's a collective issue. If you look at Liverpool, who are the champions, they haven't got a midfielder who creates a lot of chances. Oh, well, Thiago now, but last season they didn't. They create from their fullbacks, Trent and Robertson. So I think we need to be more creative as a team. And I think that will come from being a little bit more attacking, changing the formation. I've said many times, I would like to see Partey, Ceballos with Willian in the 10, with maybe a Saka on the left and Pepe on the right, Aubameyang in the middle, or even Lacazette through the middle with Aubameyang on the left. So I think it's the way we play that will help us, become a better team going forward. I mean, I got a stat here myself. I thought I'd pull one out. Liverpool have had 97 shots this season. They've had the most shots. We've had 41. Less than half. We're not shooting enough. I mean, how many times do we get around the edge of the box and we're still trying to play another pass? We don't shoot. That's something we've got to address. We've got to, it's like Arteta, he's tried so hard to fix the defense that the attack has sort of been sacrificed in doing that. So he needs that balance between the two.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've got to agree. I've got to take you to task a little bit because your boy Willian, man. You know what I mean? You were singing his praises.
Hey, listen, no. He ain't my boy,
But you know what it is, though, right? Because I've got to say this, like, I've got a couple of guys, friends of mine, who are Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
And they used to call Willian Mr. 1 in 7. And I said, like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
They go, the trouble with Willian is that he'll have a good game every 7 games. So I was like, before we signed, I was like, yeah, but last season he had a really good season. He was quite consistent. They said, listen, man, that's pretty much a one-off.
Yeah.
In the previous seasons before that, he's Mr. 1 in 7. And I'm this week because we've had 5 games now.
Yeah.
And the first game he was outstanding against Fulham. He got those 2 assists. Some people say saying he should have got a goal, accredited with a goal, which he didn't. So that's 5, man. So
he's had 1 in 5, probably.
So the game against Leicester, presumably he's going to play, will be 6. So he owes us a good game, man. I mean, he's got. Listen, he's got to step his game up, man. Because, I know he was played out of position. You could say this false number 9 nonsense, but he has looked a little lacking. He looked a bit off the pace.
No, he has. I agree. After that first game, he's definitely gone downhill.
Yeah, his level's dropped a little bit. He needs to step his game up again, and which makes you wonder, man, why he's getting the starting job ahead of Pepe. You know what I mean?
But then when you look at it, in all fairness, who in our attack is playing well? You know, Aubameyang's had a bad start.
Lacazette's playing well, but that doesn't seem to make a difference, does it?
You know what? When Lacazette missed that 1-on-1 against Liverpool, I think he got taken off not long after. And it's like Arteta's just disgusted with him after that. He's like, you're not playing, man. You just cost me the Liverpool game. So the team selection is going to be interesting again on Sunday because, you know, Leicester are dangerous, man. They've proved that against us before. I'm
hearing a rumour that Vardy might be out for that game.
I hope so, man, because he gives us problems, don't he, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players that it's almost nailed on that he's going to score against us.
Yeah.
We were saying at the weekend that Sterling will probably score. Lo and behold, he scores. You know
you know what? I think Hector Bellerin is still somewhere in Manchester after he slid off the pitch when Sterling cut back.
Some people like to have a go at us on this show and dig out Bellerin, and they say, "Oh, you got an agenda against him because of previous remarks he'd made against AFTV." Listen, bro, those people just need to sit down somewhere. That guy's performances recently have been what? Hey, listen, man, come on, man. You know what I mean? I don't know how he's getting the starting berth ahead of Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
It's got to be time to put Ainsley in, hasn't it, man? It really has got to now. You know,
I think Ainsley's just a better footballer than him in every department. He's physically superior. He's stronger. He's quicker. You know what I mean? He's more agile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, Ainsley does. He's prone to lapses of concentration. You know what I mean? Yeah. But give him a chance, man. I mean, he's playing for England, but he can't get in our team.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't get it, man.
No.
But hey, you know what I mean? Well, suppose people are going to come with you because he said that about AFTV. But the guy's just not been performing.
Nah, he hasn't, man.
A little bit better, but he's still not about that life, bro. Come on.
I honestly don't know, and I'm not being disrespectful when I say this. I don't know what Bellerin's good at. I think before he used to be very quick, and it got him out of bad situations. He had great recovery, but his pace has dipped. He's not good going forward. Defensively, he's shaky, man. I don't think Ainsley's
good at. Shall I tell you what Bellerin's good at?
Go on.
Self-publicist, right? And flattery. The guy deceive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looks the part, you know what I mean? With his tight shorts and his tattoo on his leg, and you know what I mean? The man can't even take throw-ins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The man can't even take throw-ins, let alone cross a ball. Like, you know what it is with him? Like, well, every game he will go on. He'll go on some run. Ultimately, lose the ball, right? Or the cross will go wayward. And then you get some people turning around to me and you and saying, "Oh, did you not see that run he made when he went past?" I'm like, bro. So is that your gauge of what is a good player for Arsenal?
I know, man. As I say, man, the standards
is right. Like he is what I'm saying about flattery to deceive. There are certain players that get it in the neck. You know what I mean? As soon as they don't have a couple of good games, I mean, the fans are on them. But for some reason, he seems to slide.
Yeah, literally he slides off the pitch.
Well, the way I see Sterling dumped him on his ass twice in one move. I mean, the last person I see do that was Messi. He did that to Boateng, didn't he?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah, man.
Sterling did it to him at the weekend. He put him on his ass twice.
And he weren't even fully fit. Even Foden, you know when Foden cut inside him for the goal? I see Bellerin, man, I thought it was Harlem shaking. The man was turning every which way. I said, nah, this guy here, man, they need to, I don't know why. Arteta just seems like he won't drop him. Him and Xhaka are two players that Arteta just seems desperate to keep in the team. against all odds. Like,
so if you're Lacazette or you're Ainsley or one or two other players that seem to get binned on a regular basis, you might be quite rightly thinking of knocking on the man's door and saying, "Listen, man, what have I got to do to get a starting berth in this team?" You know what I mean?
I mean, Lacazette came to Arsenal, in his words, to become a regular for the French team. I mean, I don't even know if Deschamps knows he plays football anymore. Like, I don't think he's been in the squad since he's been at Arsenal. Like, so, yeah. But with Ainsley, like you said, Ainsley's playing for England. Yeah, Hector Bellerin doesn't get in the Spanish squad, but he can't get in the team ahead of him. But
no, it's a joke. That is
crazy, man.
But anyway, let's go back to, let's not digress too much.
Yeah,
game at the weekend, it's an important game for Leicester, a very useful opposition to say the least.
Yeah.
And, they will come with a game plan. They're a team, they're well coached by Brendan Rodgers and Kolo Touré, by the way. Shout out Kolo Touré. So like I said, very similar Premier League record so far to ours. 5 games, 3 wins and 2 losses. Same amount of points. We're slightly ahead of them. I've got to press you for a result, bro. What do you reckon?
I think we'll beat them. I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be close. Because at the moment, we've got a few players in and out of form. I hope Arteta changes the formation, but I doubt he will. I think it will
persist with a false number 9 this week. Surely.
Well, maybe not the false 9, but I think you'll see 3 at the back again. I think it will be a tight win. I think we'll win 2-1.
Okay. Well, listen, I think that the players and the manager want to do themselves justice. They want to get back on the winning streak. I think we'll beat Rapid Vienna on Thursday. I think we'll play a fairly strong team because I think you want to take that game seriously. And like I said, don't even be surprised if you see the likes of Aubameyang, if not start, get a game. Probably start, wouldn't he? Because he needs the work.
Maybe, yeah.
He's not really been playing much recently. He needs work, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm predicting that we'll beat Rapid Vienna, although I don't say it with a whole lot of confidence because we don't know what teams Arteta's going to play, and I don't know too much about Rapid Vienna other than the fact that they're unbeaten this season. So they're a decent side. I'm predicting a win against Rapid Vienna, and I'm predicting a win against Leicester because I'm thinking that certainly in terms of our attitude is going to be a lot better than last week. It's likely that Leicester will score, so especially if Vardy plays. So how about 2-1? 3-1. I'll go 3-1.
Going 3-1.
I'm going to say we're be as good this week as bad as we were last week, and be good this week. What about
you? They've got. I see that Sionchu, who's probably their best defender, he's injured for a little while. So that leaves a big hole in their defense. So I go for 2-1. Listen, I'll take any win, to be honest. After that Man City game, I think, we've got big games coming up. Just win the game. But it would be nice to play well and win the game as well.
Yeah.
Like the likes of Aubameyang, I'd like him to get a goal, man.
Yeah, and I just want to sum up by qualifying to all those people out there going to get ready to jump on us. Listen, we're not saying sack the manager or anything drastic like that. We're not even like pillaring him from pillar to post. What we are saying is that we were disappointed last week with the mentality, the mindset of the team. We appreciate what Arteta's done since he's been at the club. He's done a lot of very good things. But I just think that going forward, if we're going to beat these top 6 teams, I think a lot of it comes down to the mentality and the approach you adopt, especially when you go away from home. You know what I mean? You've got to be there. Say it with your chest, man. Make a statement of intent. Say like you come to win. I just didn't think enough of that was on display last week against City. We're at home this week, and I'm sure the attitude will be different. And I'm also pretty sure we'll get a win. So yeah, so I just want to conclude by saying that.
Before the comments blow.
I mean, listen, man, I'm a big boy, so I could take it. I'm just to just qualify what I'm saying because I know some people are going to try and deliberately take it the wrong way. So hey, hey, man, we're coming to the end of the show, man. Thanks out there, everybody's watching and supporting. We really do appreciate your support. We like the interactiveness of the show, so keep your comments and messages coming in. Curtis, man, tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, check out the channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Just gone past 15K, so we just keep grinding, man, putting out content. Hopefully Arsenal can be a little bit more entertaining in the next few games.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure he will. And like, share, subscribe. Keep yourselves healthy, well, COVID-free. Wear your mask, socially distance. Do all the things we can do so we can get rid of this horrible disease. And we look forward to seeing you next week. I'm out.
This video is supported by Profit Accumulator. Profit Accumulator helps you to earn extra money by doing something called match betting. Match betting isn't gambling. And when you do it properly, and I mean properly, you can't lose. So get involved right now. Click the link in the description and sign up to Profit Accumulator right now.